In the vibrant and iconic decade of the 80s, teen movies were not just a genre. They were a cultural phenomenon that defined an era.
What's that?
Sushi.
You won't accept a guy's tongue in your mouth and you're gonna eat that?
Can I eat?
Among the stars who shone brightly in these cinematic gems were actresses whose performances left an indelible mark on the industry and continue to be celebrated for their authenticity and charm.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
So let's dive into the world of 80s teen movies and pay tribute to the actresses who made us laugh, cry, and dream, and take a look at how they've evolved over the years. Rebecca De Mornay in Risky Business, 1983, and Rebecca in 2024. Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science, 1985, and Nowadays. Nicolette Sheridan in The Sure Thing, 1985, and Nowadays. Deborah Foreman in Valley Girl, 1983, and 41 years later. Sherilyn Fenn in Just One of the Guys, 1985, and this is what the actress looks like in 2024. Molly Ringwald in The Breakfast Club, 1985, and 39 years later. Robin Wright in The Princess Bride, 1987, and this is what the Robin looks like now. Heather Langenkamp in A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, and 40 years later. Jennifer Grey in Dirty Dancing, 1987, and Jennifer in 2024. Elisabeth Shue in The Karate Kid, 1984, and 40 years later. Jami Gertz in The Lost Boys, 1987, and 2024. Adrienne King in Friday the 13th, 1980, and 44 years later. Jennifer Connelly in Labyrinth, 1986, and Jennifer in 2024. Amy Stock in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989, and 2024. Leah Thompson in Back to the Future, 1985, and Nowadays. Winona Ryder in Heathers, 1988, and Winona Ryder in 2024. Jennifer Jason Leigh in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982, and 42 years later. Amanda Weiss in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982, and Nowadays. Kelly Maroney in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982, and Kelly in 2024. Ali Sheedy in War Games, 1983, and 2024. Jean Louisa Kelly in Uncle Buck, 1989. And this is what the actress looks like in 2024. Jill Whitlow in Weird Science, 1985. And Jill in 2024. Suzanne Snyder in Weird Science, 1985. And 2024. Ione Skye in Say Anything, 1989. And 35 years later. Alexandra Paul in Christine, 1983. And nowadays, Amanda Bears in Fright Night, 1985, and Amanda in 2024. Brooke Shields in The Blue Lagoon, 1980, and 44 years later. Catherine Mary Stewart in Weekend at Bernie's, 1989, and 2024. Susan Ursitti in Teen Wolf, 1985, and nowadays. Jennifer Beals in Flashdance, 1983, and Jennifer in 2024. Julia Montgomery in Revenge of the Nerds, 1984, and 40 years later. Diane Franklin in Better Off Dead, 1985, and Diane in 2024. Cocky Hunter in Porky's, 1981, and 43 years later. Kim Cattrall in Porky's, 1981, and Kim Cattrall in 2024. Heather Graham in License to Drive, 1988, and 36 years later. Daphne Zuniga in The Sure Thing, 1985, and Daphne in 2024. Demi Moore in One Crazy Summer, 1986, and Demi in 2024. Andy McDowell in St. Elmo's Fire, 1985, and 2024. Laurie Singer in Footloose, 1984, and 40 years later. Sarah Jessica Parker in Girls Just Want to Have Fun, 1985. And nowadays, Molly Hagan in Some Kind of Wonderful, 1987. And Molly in 2024. That's it. If you liked the video, click like and subscribe. See you later.